And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player from the land of South Korea representing Team Hyper 1. And from the land of Japan, it is HonMonO. Now, if you're unfamiliar with HonMonO, basically what we've already been seeing so far is most likely going to continue. 2 base all-ins is kind of his MO here. We'll see if he tries to adjust against herO. Of course, herO, one of the best Protoss players in the world, is quite a bit of a step up here, and we'll see if HonMonO can make some magic happen against someone of the caliber of herO. Apparently herO was a little bit unwell. I say unwell. herO had fallen a little bit ill after DreamHack Atlanta, so he was recovering. We have been seeing him compete, of course, in this week's WTL, and herO has returned, and hopefully herO is recovered and in form, in shape after the travels abroad. This time HonMonO doesn't go for the eBay block, a wise choice. Now what herO is doing is something that has become more meta recently. If you look at the top Protoss players like herO, MaxPax, Showtime, this is very common. Because of what we saw in the previous series, because of all the eBay blocks, it has become a lot more common to go for a low ground war, where the probe comes down to the low ground with the pylon, with the gateway, which means that if there was an eBay block, we would see it ahead of time and shut it down ahead of time as well, which means we would expand on location at the natural. We would not be forced into an unnatural position. We will not be forced into defending these kind of awkward bases. The meta has shifted in a way where this kind of opener from herO is becoming a little more prevalent in PvT. So it's been really cool to see kind of the meta like ebb and flow and kind of be shaped by the new play styles that have been arising. And that is again a big reason as to this base layout. The downside is that you aren't able to block the Reaper Cliff. So usually the initial gateway and pylon is here on the right hand side to make it a little bit more difficult for the Terran player to scout. So that's the downside to going for this kind of opener, but the upside is that you're able to expand and you're able to survive the early game. So there's a bit of a give and take. Bit of a give and take here, as we do have across the map the Adept going to be arriving, going to be threatening that natural base. Marines do move in. HonMonO just trying to maintain his position here, trying to maintain this SCV, this building CC. We'll get it up and running. Behind this, we do have a 3-1-1 setup once again. What we expect to be seeing here, a delayed starport and a prioritization of marine production, as well as Hellions into Cyclones, into eventually tanks. So a very aggressive style from HonMonO once again. The downside to this is that HonMonO doesn't really know what's going on. He has very limited scouting information because he has no Reaper. He has no Widowmine drop to get into the main either. But a big reason as to why HonMonO doesn't have any scouting is because he's not really concerned with what his opponent is doing. He's more concerned with what he's doing. As it is going to be a Stargate opener into an Oracle. Interesting, we're going straight into a Twilight Council. This looks like Blink. So usually Stargate openers are alongside charge lots, that is true, but because we don't have any Phoenixes, Blink would make a lot more sense here from herO. So we'll see what kind of direction he goes in as the Oracle slips into the main base, and we are getting quite a bit of SCVs. Oh my god. 2-3 workers going to be going down. This time there is no Widowmine in position. HonMonO, he's going to be committing across the map, but we have a wall off, we have a shield battery, a prism, a shield battery, an overcharge, and adepts. Aliens doing what they can, but again, assault defense here by herO across the map. He's getting out of control. 14, 15, almost 15 SCVs go down. Aye. Meanwhile, the Hellions do slip in. They barely do break their way into that mineral line, but the boys, they turn around, they fight, they shut down the Hellions, and HonMonO will lose everything. Every unit goes down. This is the other benefit, I guess, of going for this kind of Sim City, is that you do get a full wall off here at the natural, and HonMonO was unable to break in, or by the time he did, it was too late. It lost too much HP, and now HonMonO, his economy is crippled. And the economy being crippled doesn't really matter too much for HonMonO, but what matters now is that he lost the boys. The SCVs have died, which means how do we pull the boys if there are no boys to pull? So HonMonO, he's in a really rough position here. I mean, jokes aside, like, other than not having many SCVs to move across the map, on top of that, no economy here to sustain his production. You know, he can't even produce another tank at the moment. He's waiting for more resources because of his lack of SCVs. There we go, just now starting up the other tank, but his macro has been negatively impacted here by losing so many workers. And behind this, herO happily expanding, freely taking a third. A shield battery overcharge is going to be available. We have 4 +1. Blink, as we mentioned, is on the way. Again, as I mentioned before, because there are no Phoenixes, it does create an opportunity to go into Blink Stalkers. Blink is a Twilight Council Blink follow-up is a little bit unnatural and very delayed, but is going to be more of a surprise here and a little bit more comfortable for herO, being able to flex his control, flex his micro as the Stalkers are moving out. The army of HonMonO is amassing. We are pulling the boys, because of course we are. Wait, he may have lost 14 SCVs, but that's not going to stop him from going for a 2-way solo. But GG gets called. He already gets spotted. Does not try to pull it off, and HonMonO taps out. herO takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Oh, herO just all over HonMonO in that first game, and yeah, shutting him down at every turn. The Oracle just got out of control initially, dealing so much economic damage, and likewise, HonMonO just could not recover, could not actually pull off his all-in that he was trying to work towards. Here we go. It looks like other portions of the bracket are wrapping up, and no shot. We have some updates. We have a very surprising update at that. As we get everyone involved and we try to get everyone invited. The lower semifinals already. Dark was 2-0'd by Cyan. Oh my god. We have a little bit of time just because casters are filing in, but yeah, I mean, Nightmare 2-1 Beyond, which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, that's a little more believable for me, just because Nightmare has beaten Beyond before. So Beyond has been eliminated, and Cyan 2-0 Dark. Cyan has taken games off of Dark before. Like, he has taken games that is not unheard of, but to 2-0, that I'm more surprised by. GG. We're in for a PvP semis. We're... HonMonO is the last remaining non-Protoss player in the tournament. Can we avoid the non-stop PvPs? Like, what is this? ESL Asia? What? This is... Oh my god. We casted a tournament recently that was non-stop PvPs. What was it? It was, the House Open Cup. Like, what is this? Like a Polish tournament? We've been getting a lot of just non-stop PvPs recently, and it's looking to be the case here as well. Best of luck to our last non-Protoss, but we'll see if we can make a series out of this as we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Here we go. As herO, he's already being as annoying as possible, tasing away at that SCV, slipping into the main base. I was just really not expecting Dark not to make it to the semifinals. Again, and a shout out to Nightmare as well. Don't want to gloss over that. The fact that he was able to take down Beyond 2-1. Again, Nightmare. Personally, I do believe that Nightmare's best matchup is PvT. We have seen Nightmare beat Beyond. We've seen him beat Gumiho. We've seen him beat Cure as well. Not saying that he's the favored player by any means, but that is kind of his wheelhouse, and that is where Nightmare can really thrive and spread his wings the hardest. That is against Terran. So a big shout out to Nightmare, taking down Beyond once again. Ooh. As we have SCVs trying to get us around to that probe. They do not get it though. herO slipping away, lubing up his probe as he does. So slippery. Behind this, honMonO, very interesting actually. So honMonO went for what looks to be a Rax Expand opener. He did not go for an eBay block across the map, but he's still going for a factory before CC. This may just be his go-to. This may be his go-to opener, but I'm not in love with it right now. So this is a very standard opener if you do go for the eBay block and if you do disrupt the opener. If you don't, this is just really committed, and you are gonna be putting yourself a little bit behind. We'll see what kind of direction honMonO goes in, especially because herO saw everything. He saw the timing of the factory, and very safe play. I approve of this. herO, he's going for a robo opener. So there are 3 different openers. Typically 3. There's like niche builds, sure, but usually it's Stargate or Twilight Council or robo. Robo is a lot more niche as well. It's a little more unorthodox. The robo opener is just very safe. It's a way to get into really early immortal production. It's a way to rush into Colossus early on as well. You can turn the tables here and be aggressive if we go for a Warp Prism first. If we go for like 2 more gateways and a Warp Prism, we can harass, but otherwise it's just a very defensive way to play. Reason why I say that is because Phoenixes and Oracles give you map control with a Stargate opener. Blink Stalkers also give you map control with Blink, with a Twilight Council opener. With a robo, don't really have much of a map presence, and there it is, early immortal production. So herO, he's assuming it's a 1-base all-in, but he does get eyes on the building CC. Like a robo opener just shuts down 1-base all-in so hard, alongside most proxies as well. But again, behind this, honMonO is going for a delayed CC further back in his main. As we saw, herO was able to scout and confirm. He's aware. And from here, we'll see if herO goes for a Prism or goes for a Bay. There we go. 2 more gates. 3 gates in total. Pretty solid amount of gateways. Pretty solid amount of production available here for herO. Behind this, honMonO getting into his 3-1-1 setup here once again. Hellion production has commenced, and we are moving out with our first handful of factory-based units. We haven't scattered anything, by the way. Not aware whether or not there's SimCity on the low ground or not. Shield Battery is still about to finish up. Observer's coming out. And the Observer does confirm the army. Immortal's getting in position, and we spoke about it. Nice scan on the Observer. But we spoke about it. Again, a very defensive opener out of herO. And with this early Immortal, like, we can't really touch this. Like, the Immortal's just going to focus down the Cyclones as soon as it gets within range. Also, I thought that second pylon was a shield battery. I'm a little bit concerned that there's no shield battery here. There's the fast bay, as we mentioned. The power of a robo opener, Immortal production, and fast robotics bay. The Immortal getting some hits in. Second Immortal has arrived, and in a head-to-head fight, honMonO cannot fight this. Not head-on. So we do not commit to the shade. Behind this, honMonO is working on his tank production. Stim is on the way as well. herO pushing out, does come across those Cyclones, gets 1! Oh my god. At the same time, Hellions do get in. 3 Hellions, 1-shot probes. There we go, 2 workers go down. 3, can we get another volley off? Oh, it looks like we will. Big volley as well. The probes they line up. 7 probes. Can we get 1 more? Up. Oh my god. 7 workers, not too bad. But herO goes for a big counterattack, catches both Cyclones. War Prison speed is on the way. Oh my god, we're looking to have some fun. We're looking to drop with some Colossi. My, oh my. And herO is going for a counterattack. Again, it doesn't have to. Like, remember, honMonO is the one going all in. But herO, he's just being so assertive here, so in his face. The boys are being pulled, and will herO be caught out? The boys have a right. Good target firing here. 1 tank goes down. Big pick off. And herO, he wants more. Dropping in once again with those Immortals. Does miss a tank, but he's going to be camping the production. Yeah, taking down some of these Marines, forcing more boys off the mineral line. Good juggling. Back at home, the Colossus comes out just in time as well. And honMonO already lost one of his tanks. The other is so low. Shield battery isn't done yet, but some big swipes here on these SCVs. Yeah, the boys cannot touch this. We do get on top of the shield battery. Do you force a cancel? No overcharge. Big pickup. But the Prism comes back. We come in from behind. We get a tank. And there's 1 tank remaining. Soon to be zero tanks. Good juggling here. herO keeps everything alive. Gets away with the prism. 20 SCVs went down, and honMonO barely has anything left. He's got a handful of Marines. He's got one tank left as well, and herO proactively just jumping on this. GG gets called, and herO will take the series 2-0, taking down the last non-Protoss player. GG. GG, well played. We have our semi-finalists. Let's go. We have our semi-finalists here. Congratulations to herO for advancing on. Shout out to honMonO here for making it this far, and for, again, just trying to catch out herO with his builds, with his aggressive nature. But again, herO was, it felt like, in the driver's seat for most of this series. Able to be assertive and to, yeah, just be constantly in the face of honMonO. Really powerful play there from herO. But as we get ready for our semis, again, we can have a look at the bracket itself. We have our top four. We have a herO versus Classic in a best of 3, and we have Cyan versus Nightmare. Nightmare also in a PvP best of 3 as well. The question becomes, which Protoss players will make it to the finals? Who has the best PvP amongst all of them? And this could go either way. What I will say about herO and Classic, they go back and forth. Historically, herO has won more. I want to say like maybe 60% in favor of herO, maybe 65 or 70%. But Classic does take maps, and he does take series, and it's a PvP. Anything can happen. This is very much so up in the air, and this could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Classic 2-0s. I wouldn't be surprised if herO 2-0s. I think it's going to be very difficult to predict who comes out on top. Obviously, herO is still going to be the favored player, but not by much. And predictions will soon be open. So, if you're in the chat, if you want to get some gamba going, then we got you covered. We will soon have you covered.